Welders are classified, therefore, under non-electrical workers. However, they are supposed to know electrical basics as pertains some things, especially when they are supposed to work, they are supposed to avoid electrical shock. Human perspiration encourages less resistance. You need to use gloves for you to avoid electric shock. Take care of, do not work alone. Do not work alone as a welding personnel. This is electrical awareness program coming to you from this YouTube channel. The name is Jeroboam Kimtai. This YouTube channel is the only channel in this world that is doing electrical awareness in this part of the world in Africa. And now I welcome you to listen to me tonight so that I either teach you a new thing or remind you of the thing you may have forgotten. We have been doing domestic electrical awareness, and tonight I want to a little stretch further and talk about something on business, especially in commercial business area. Now, we are talking about electrical hazards, and today I want to touch on electrical hazards as it pertains people who are doing welding. In the last episode, we did a program on electrical hazards, especially when I was talking about us avoiding any hanging cables, any hanging wires, or any hanging conductors in electrical conductors, phone, telephone wires, internet wires, and so on. So before we dive into our program tonight on electrical awareness about hazards in welding, I want to encourage you to please, if you have not subscribed, to subscribe to this YouTube channel and like and share to another person who may not have encountered this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is going to help a lot of people when you share. So I know you will share. And please consider sharing it. Don't forget. And do 100% view of this YouTube program because you will always learn new things from this. Now, right away, we are doing electrical hazards on welding. Welding, as we know, is a way of fabricating and making steel doors, steel windows, even beds, and so on, anything, and even some kind of furniture from metal. And by welding, it means that we have personnel that work in welding. These personnel are called welders. Welders are people who are professionals in terms of fabricating things from metals, our beautiful doors, our beautiful gates and windows. But remember, these are somebody's children. And so I am concerned when I want to do this, and I'm doing this special for them and special for you, so that if they don't get this information, you will also tell them about the same. Because that person who does welding is your child, is your brother, is your uncle, is your grandfather, and so on. And so you need to get this information and tell them. Welders are classified, therefore, under non-electrical workers. However, they are supposed to know electrical basics as pertains some things, especially when they are supposed to work, they are supposed to avoid electrical shock. Welders must always be concerned about the possibility of electric shock. Electric shock, in electrical learning that we have been doing, electric shock is said to have happened when the human body or when you as a person becomes part of an electrical circuit. And so you are supposed to minimize on the risks of you getting shocked. Now, electricity tends to flow through a place where there is less resistance of current. We have to know that wet working conditions are conditions that encourage electric shock, because water is an electrolyte, or water is a very good encourager of electrical flow. Electrical current flows through water very quickly. And so we need to reduce this act of being careless, in that even if it has rained and you are doing welding outside there, you need to stop everything until the place is dry. Now, if not, then you are supposed to take out something we call the mat, the rubber, and then put it down so that you step on it, put another rubber somewhere, then you put the welding machine on top, take your grinder, put something on something dry. If it is not a mat, then it's a dry wood surface, wooden surface, so that you are protected from direct contact of water. So we are talking about resistance. We need to avoid the situation and condition where our bodies are less resistance factors to electrical shock. Now, when we talk about wet conditions, we also need to understand that even human perspiration encourage less resistance. Perspiration like sweat, for example, and those people who are fond of licking some things. So anything wet in your body encourages electric shock. Wet perspiration. There are people who, by nature, they sweat a lot, and sweating may happen even to the hands. And so this will be a risk for you to be shocked. And this, therefore, I encourage you, you need to use gloves for you to avoid electric shock. Take care of all poor connections of wires. Poor connections of wires. We've had cases where people, especially in this part of the nation, I encounter people who have done a totally unprofessional connection of electricity to their welding machines, to their grinders, and to their cutters, just by winding some wire on some two nails nailed apart. That is very dangerous, because in one way or another, a person who is non-skilled may come and touch those things and get electrocuted. And so do a well connected by using sockets. If you think the socket you are using is of less power, let me communicate to you today. We are used of top plugs that are of 13 amps, 13 amperes. If you don't want to use such, we have other top plugs that you can connect at the end of the cable of 15 amperes, or industrial sockets, for example. You can use such instead of doing that unprofessional connection of wires. Now, another thing you need to consider as far as wires are concerned is insulate them very well. I'm talking to you as a welding person, and I'm talking to you as a kin, somebody who is close in one way or another to that welding person. So this information is for everybody. Standing on insulated wood, as I have mentioned, and mat is very important and very key to every welding person. Another thing is take care of earthing of the machines, earthing of the welding machine. And maybe to mention again, I am talking about welding equipment. Welding equipment that use electricity are grinders, are cutters, and welding machine itself. And so all of this must observe grounding. Grounding is earthing. And in our episodes, we've been sharing about earthing and their importance. Earthing provides safe return of any stray, any leaked electricity to a surface of any machine. And we realize the welding machine is made of metal, and so the risk of leaking and therefore getting electrified is easy. And so this risk is to be avoided by doing earthing and grounding, and possibly bonding. If you have that vice frame, you need to do bonding on that. Okay. Now, another thing we need to consider now, having spoken to the welders, is another number two thing you need to take care of is do not strike an arc without covering your eyes. When you have held that welding rod, rod holder, electrode holder, welding is done by an arc, and so there is some kind of sparks and lighting, some lighting that it does. This lighting is some kind. It is not friendly to the eye, and so you need to cover your eyes, and also inform those people who are around you that you are about to strike that arc in welding, so that they prepare to cover their eyes. Now, very important, number three, do not work alone. Do not work alone as a welding personnel. Yes, tell that welding person that you know how to do welding, but do not attempt to work alone. Work with another person so that in case of any eventuality, you have help close to you. Number four, always remember that there are energized parts of welding components. Energized parts of welding components are components like grinder, cutter, welding machine. Now, these parts are energized as long as electricity is on. So in case you are in any break, make sure you have switched off electrical power. Switch them off completely so that this place is energy free. Energy free means electricity is not flowing through any of those machines. That is number four. Number five, do not touch or any holders of two different machines at the same time, especially when they are energized. Do not touch. In these industries or in any place that welding is done and you have two machines that are doing welding, do not touch them at the same time when they are energized. Number six, we need to talk about the PPEs. This is protective personal equipment. Protective personal equipment are goggles, the shades. Remember, covering your eyes, you will use them. Number two, gloves to avoid any kind of pricking from metal, any kind of electric shock from metal, or to cover the perspiration so that you are not shocked. We have just said that perspiration from a human body necessitates electric shock by reducing the resistance of current that flows through our body in case of a fault, in case of an accident. Now, use the gloves and then wear these gloves also must be free from holes and well insulated. So do not just wear worn out gloves. Put on gloves that are free from holes. Now, another thing is you have to wear high top rubber soled shoes. Shoes must be rubber because rubber is a good insulator, and so in case of any electric contact by mistake, you will not be able to conduct any kind of electricity to the ground, thereby shocking you. And so you need to wear rubber sole, and top, they have to be high so that you do not, in case of any water or something, you do not touch water, or the water does not get into the shoes. That is a thing. Now, a fully insulated electrical holder is a must. A lot of people are fond of just doing some improvised things. For example, somebody just ties the electrode holder with rubber band just because he wants to work, and maybe he has no other holder close to them. You better stop everything, acquire a good one if at all it is spoiled, and make sure it is well insulated before you use it. So we value your life, and that's why I am communicating this to you through this channel. Lastly, use a well checked insulated wire. I think this one I'm repeating again, because without wires, without conductors, you will not have electricity. That is what I had for you today about electrical hazards that we need to avoid when it comes to welding. Otherwise, remember to subscribe, share, and like this YouTube channel, and this information will reach to any person that it concerns. And now that we all are related in these hazards, when it comes to electricity, we don't have an option but just share. If you get to know about this channel, kindly share and share widely, so that we get to know about this information. It belongs to all of us. Otherwise, thank you and God bless you. Bye.